The continuation of Everything But the Rain and episode 13, The Blade Is Me, both aired for a kind of mini movie to end Bleach Core 1. And what a phenomenal conclusion to the Core 1 return of Bleach Starting Your Blood War. Last episode was beautiful, and these two episodes together might be some of my favorite adapted Bleach episodes. In fact, it's some of the best work I've seen from Pierrot on an anime in general. Starting with episode 12, I like that we got to see the Masaki feeling the effects of the hollow wound, and in the process of the hollification, she's getting basically the same thing the visors have. And I liked how this scene looked in general because the hollification in the anime came off really menacing, or in a sense like a really dire situation, even though she can be saved. I just liked how it overall looked with her kind of swimming into the hollow's mouth and whatnot. And they definitely censored a little bit of like the body, because even in the Bleach manga, it was her body was exposed to a pretty decent degree, which I know some people were kind of upset about, or controversial. I'm not really sure. Some people like upset at how that was portrayed or whatever, but that seemed like pretty cool. Ishin and Ryukin are trying to get their hardest to save Misaki, along with Kisuke, who felt the hollow in Misaki as he was walking by her from school. And looking back at this moment really makes the early parts of Bleach hit so much more. Like Kisuke finding Ichigo, helping him learn his Zanpakuto and how Shikai's work and all of that stuff. It really hits because you really see how much Kisuke actually knew about Ichigo. From Ishin to Masaki, what's actually in him. It's pretty crazy. Even looking back at Kisuke's shop it's almost kind of surreal just seeing like certain things, even though we should be used to it by now because it's 13 episodes, but just seeing like the older version and seeing like the newer one and how really a lot of the past, because Kubo does this a lot where he'll show something now and you really won't figure out everything until really later into the story, so you can connect the dots and go, oh wow, I can't believe now when I go back and reread or rewatch, those moments just hit a little different. And they've been doing these from the start of the series, but I love the white and pink filter over like the OG anime flashbacks. I think those are so cool because they have like such a style to them, and it's a unique way of revisiting past events. I would be really happy if more anime did this, because a lot of the times it's more so like a dark filter or like something they put over to show like, oh, this is what happened back then, remember this, that type of flashback. This just looks so much cooler, especially if you watched the old Bleach, you remember some of those scenes, it just hits even more. Also, while Kisuke, Ishin, and Ryukin are talking, I love the little details of the rain hitting the glass window in the background. Just adds more immersiveness to the overall scene of them talking. Also, hats off to Ryukin's voice actor for really voicing Ryukin's desperation and sense of hopelessness, because he literally can't do anything in this situation considering he's a Quincy, so nothing he can really do right now. That's why he just left and went home and left it to Ishin, especially when he tells Katagiri that we should just go home, knowing that they're probably not going to see Misaki ever again after this, because she's going to live with Ishin and they're going to be trying to live like regular humans. In the general, the scene of Ishin saving Masaki was done really well. They definitely didn't adapt the other panels of Masaki being very like joyful or just acting kind of silly with the whole new start thing, because they're trying to keep like a serious tone for a lot of this stuff. This is why they did that for, I think, the Rangiku one. They did that for the Rukia one back when they were training. So I kind of appreciate it. I know some people like really stern on like, I want every panel, but when you're adapting an anime, it is kind of different because you want to keep the same emotion or tone throughout the entire scene. And I love the added scenes of Ishin and Masaki spending time together, like going to see a movie, and how the scene of the old man and the old woman together impacted him in some way, and just how he views like their lives together was really nice. And the adapted panels of Ishin telling Ichigo of that Masaki died on an early death and she really wasn't supposed to die in that current time was done pretty good, especially since if you put the panels side by side, they're almost identical. On to The Blade Is Me. So we got Misaki's death and Katakuri's death. Both Ichigo and Uryu's moms died on the same day. That's some crazy fate, but theirs was done good. Masaki killed by a Grand Fisher Hollow. I always thought that looked really similar to Orihime's brother Hollow, just in design. I don't know if it was supposed to be the exact same thing because it's been a minute since I've rewatched or read that scene, but she died to that hollow while protecting Ichigo, and which makes sense as to why he can't remember it, because I think Ichigo might have been probably like 5-6 years old or something like that, so he probably doesn't even remember half of that. Then we get information on like the Quincy selection. That scene was done good. And I always start Ryukin picking up the book about the Quincy King Ywhach. In the same spot that Uryu is reading about Ywhach in I think episode 6 under that bridge area. That was really a really nice touch. But the captain's training scene looked pretty great. I gotta say the background and the scenery of this adaptation overall has been flawless. Even like the sunset sky looks great. Like in episode 1, Ichigo's fighting that one Quincy and they're flying through the air. That looked good. Ishin and Ryukin in the air holding Masaki, that looked nice. Like, I don't know why, but it just does it for me. Komamura talking to his clan head, old great dog sage is what I call him. He's gonna have in the same moment later in the other cores. Really looking forward to that because it's kind of insane. And now when it comes to colors, background, capturing the scene, Oetsu reforging Ichigo's Zanpakuto is like freaking beautiful and epic. The sea waterfall aesthetic looks amazing, especially when they are forging the blade and how the fire sparks fly into the air. It looks like a waterfall with a volcano inside of it. Really dope. And then you got the other color sparks flying around when his other Zanpakuto spirit girls are helping. I need one of those for real. Like, where can I get? But Zangetsu in Ichigo's inner world, as he's told that the hollow is his real Zanpakuto, flawless. I was surprised that they actually changed the inner world to be black, white, and pink. Because it used to be, I want to say white, gray. The sky was blue, but it was like a lighter, darker blue. But I was really good with this. I think this looked pretty cool because it fit the theme that this core Bleach was going with. I was always wondering why they picked white, black, and pink. I never was against it. I was just wondering, was there any significance behind it? But it looked nice, especially when they're on the buildings and you got like a camera coming in from Ichigo's perspective and you're looking at Zangetsu and his glasses are pink. Really dope. It looked like Bret Hart for real, but that was a really dope thing that they did. Zangetsu disappearing into his Quincy Blade form. That was tough. It felt like watching a movie as Ichigo is moving through the underwater. The credits are rolling. He lets Ichigo capture him because that's his real power. Who would have thought throughout this entire freaking story that Ichigo is using a fragment of his power, not even a certain percentage, just a fragment of it. And he gets the Zanpakuto. Zangetsu fades away or whatnot. That looked cool. And then Ichigo, he's like swimming back up and moving through the debris and all of that. Period killed it. I give him that. Studio Period may not get a lot of love because, I mean, we all know what they did to certain other series, but in terms of this right here, they killed it. They killed this whole thing. And while all that's going on, you got number 1 playing in the background up until Ichigo gets the new Zanpakuto. Straight flames. That was fire. You couldn't have ended the season any better with number 1 playing at the end of that. And I gotta say, in anime form, Ichigo's dual Zanpakuto is so fuego, bro. It's unbelievable. Even when it came in the manga, I was such a fan of it because dual wielders in anime really rare. You don't see a ton of them, especially in Bleach. I think Bleach has like 3 in total. But one thing I am looking forward to, which this is not really a spoiler, but I want to see more from Ichigo with his dual Zanpakuto, because if you read the manga, it really doesn't feel like he uses it a lot. So I hope they kind of do what they did with Ichigo versus Ywhach and they add more scenes of him fighting with it, because those blades, first of all, are way too cool to be barely used. But I mean, they've been built up for so long, you know, why not let us see him a good portion of time before the anime finishes? And of course, the last scene, which I expected they were going to end it with this, was Uryu joining the Quincy's. We're not going to say why, but he joins the Quincy's. He feels like he needs to. He's got the robe on and everything, and that's how it ends. Also, I gotta say once again, the opening, it's kind of crazy how this opening literally spoils the entire season. A couple of shots. It's mainly the last episode with Ichigo's Zanpakuto that's shown in there. The Uryu one, I don't know why they put that one in there, but they did. So that's the end of the finale of Bleach Core 1. And it's been amazing. Which Core 2 is coming in 2023 in July. Can't wait. Which means it's going to be going at the same time as JJK Season 2. That is unbelievably hype for me. It's like I was blessed on that. Plus, that's my birth month. Like, come on now. 2 goated series airing at the same time, which arguably could be some of the best stuff from both series. And not to mention, I know Gege is like super happy about that probably because, you know, he looks up to Kubo. He gets a lot of inspiration from him when it comes to like certain designs and aspects of JJK. He has multiple inspirations, but Kubo and Takashi are like 2 of his biggest ones. And seeing that he'll get to air at the same time as Bleach Core 2, I know that's got to be really dope. But if you enjoy, leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.